Welcome to my summer romance reading list. Let's just chat about some of the summer romance books that I've read and some that are on my TBR. Quite a lot on my TBR. I finished Astrid Parker Doesn't Fail last week and oh my god, this book. This is the second book in the series. The first book is Delilah Green Doesn't Care, which I think I read last summer. Maybe. But you can read them as standalone romances. I think Astrid Parker is probably my favourite out of the two. It's a small town sapphic romance with dual POV. One of the main characters, Astrid Parker, has a very pushy mum and she just like dominates her life. She's just gotten out of a terrible engagement and her business isn't doing so well, but like she's gonna focus all her energy on her business and forget about her dating life. And then Jordan Everwood, the other main character, she's been through quite a lot and she's a bit lost in life. Her grandmother wants her to come home and help with this renovation project. Her grandmother owns the Everwood Hotel in the small town and it's like this beautiful old historic hotel with a little bit of like history and it might be haunted. And Astrid Parker is an interior designer and she's invited to be the lead designer of this big renovation project. There's also a TV crew that are filming it for this TV show. Jordan is a carpenter and basically they clash because they have different ideas about what's right for the hotel. I just love the whole concept of this book. They're meet cute. Not so cute. More on the comedy side. But yeah, I definitely recommend this as a good summer romance read. I read Wildfire last year as well, and this book is just the perfect summer romance read. It's set at a summer camp, so it just makes sense. This is actually the sequel to Icebreaker. Again, they are standalone romances in a series, so they are connected, but you can read them individually. Icebreaker is definitely a sports romance and this series is kind of a sports romance series, but this book doesn't feel like a sports romance because it's taking place during the summer when they're not doing hockey. Obviously he's the hockey player, Russ, and that's Aurora. They meet up at a university party at the end of term. They hook up, but Aurora slips away before Russ gets her full name or any contact details. He's not sure if he's ever going to see her again, and then they both turn up at the same summer camp. They're both working as counsellors at the summer camp, and of course there's a strict rule of no dating other counsellors. This is just summer romance in a book. If Piper is sunshine, then Brendan is grumpy. This might be an obvious one, but it happened one summer. I also read this last year. It's another small town romance. Piper is this super fashionable, super society girl, wild child, heiress type. And then her stepdad cuts her off. Her stepdad and her mum send her off to her family's hometown. It's a small, close-knit community where everybody knows everybody and fishing is one of the major industries there. Her sister agrees to go with her and just help her out. And of course, as soon as they get there, they meet a very grumpy captain who thinks Piper will not last a week in this small rural town. He completely misjudges Piper and just sees her as being a little bit superficial. And of course she hates that he thinks she doesn't belong there and she's not going to last 5 minutes, and of course wants to prove him wrong. What other books did I read last summer? Honey and Spice! I read this last year as well. I actually read most of it on holiday too. Kiki is a host of a radio show for the university. She kind of uses her show to offer dating advice, especially to the women at the university. She then bumps into Malachi and kind of gets the wrong impression about him. And then she blasts him on her radio show. She also has this amazing opportunity to apply for her dream summer internship, but one of her tutors thinks she needs to like take her radio show to the next level in order to get this internship. And that tutor has a plan for helping Kiki reach her goals. She wants her to work with this film student and together they can come up with something, and hopefully that will help Kiki get onto the internship. But who do you think this mysterious film student is? It's Malachi. Everyone at the university knows that they don't like each other and they've clashed. But then they come up with this sort of crazy plan to fake date. And of course, whilst they're fake dating, they learn a lot more about each other. And Kiki learns that maybe she might have been wrong about Malachi. Maybe. This is just such a great romance. I just loved the way the two main characters communicate with each other throughout the book. I would say, even though it has spice in the title, it is very low spice. I wouldn't say it's closed door, but it is like very, very minimal to almost no spice. But I will say, I think this book has one of the best kiss scenes I've ever read. The build-up, the tension, oh my god. Now we shall move on to the chaos. And that is romance books on my to-be-read pile. Let's start with Off to the Races by Elsie Silver. I have no idea if this book has summer vibes or not, but I need to read it. I've read the Chestnut Spring series and I've read Wild Love. This book is the first book in her Gold Rush Ranch series. I have loved all her other books, so I feel confident I'm gonna love this too. It's another small town romance. I don't think it's cowboys. This time it's to do with like horse riding and horse racing, but I'm intrigued. I feel pretty confident I'm gonna love this book because I am obsessed with Elsie Silver books. I also want to read Iris Kelley Doesn't Date, which is the next book that comes after Astrid Parker Doesn't Fail. This one is fake dating, so I think I'm going to enjoy it. I've also got Hook, Line and Sinker, which I was meant to read last year after I finished It Happened One Summer, because it's about Piper's sister and Brendan's best friend. So we will see if I get round to it this summer. I've already started reading Not in Love, which is another one of Ali Hazelwood's Women in STEM novels. I've only read the first couple of chapters, but I'm already getting the sense that this is a bit different from her other rom-com books. I'm really looking forward to reading the rest of this. I am a big Ali Hazelwood fan. Just go and check out my other videos on her books because I love her writing and I love all of her books. I would finally like to read Get a Life, Chloe Brown. It's been on my TBR for too long. I've only read one book by Talia Hibbert. It was a fantasy novella, I think. I don't think many people have heard of it. It's called Mating the Huntress. I really enjoyed it, but it's not as well known or as popular as her The Brown Sisters trilogy. So I really want to get round to this series. I'm gonna finish with these 3 books. I feel like, yes, I want to read them, but I might not get round to them this summer, but I'm gonna try. The first one is Sunburn, the next one is Rootbound, and then this one is Cross the Line. This is one of my Afterlight books, so I get the Illumicrate Afterlight book box. It's a monthly romance subscription box. You get a new romance book every month, and I have to confess that I have not read any of my Afterlight books. So hopefully this can be the first one I read. Okay, so that is my summer romance reading list. Let me know if you have any romance recommendations or what you plan on reading this summer.